Before billion-dollar stadiums, before the Super Bowl halftime shows, and before quarterbacks became household names and fantasy football ruled Sundays, well, there was only chaos. The story of the NFL doesn't start with bright lights and roaring crowds. It starts with a game so rough it was nearly banned. A league so small its team had names like the Duluth Eskimos and the Pottsville Maroons.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's a real thing. And players who sometimes had to work other jobs just to be able to afford to play the game. This is the story of how American football went from Ivy League scrimmages and near-death experiences to become the single most popular sport in the country. From the 1905 football crisis to the birth of the NFL, the rise of the Super Bowl, dynasties, rivalries, labor strikes, and global superstardom. This is the history of the NFL told from the very beginning by two idiots who don't know history.
Love it.
And welcome to the Everyday History Podcast.
We're back. Like a crack addict, we're back at it.
Guess who's back? So we're going to talk about football today. I know you're a huge sports ball fan.
Oh yeah, go Birds.
Oh, ugh.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah. Already hateable.
Are you a Birds fan?
Fuck no. I like the Redskins.
Oh, you mean the Commanders?
No, I mean the Washington football team.
Yeah, that's my team. I'm a Cowboys fan, as we discussed on the live stream the other night, which, yeah. Want to smack Paul around a little bit.
I'm not a real fan. I'm a fan. I'm a pheno. A fan in name only.
Fan in name only. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm a fan until I'll be a fan more so of the Cowboys when Jerry Jones dies.
Right.
Speaking of which, actually, to warm up for this episode, I watched, there's a Netflix special on the Dallas Cowboys right now. I don't know if you've seen it or if Paul's watched it yet.
Well, I haven't seen it for sure.
Well, it's interesting because I believe you and Paul were talking, or at least me and Paul were talking, but he was going on about why is the Cowboys America's team, right? Mm-hmm. Were you there for that one?
I'm sure my eyes were glazed over, but I think I was present.
Well, I found out why, according to this documentary. The reason they're called America's team is because shortly before they were called that, JFK was assassinated in Dallas, Texas.
Oh yeah, he was, wasn't he?
And so to kind of they were a bad team at that point, and they kind of turned it around to inspire. I think they won 2 Super Bowls in the next couple of years, but it was kind of a rallying cry for them. Was we don't want to be known as a city where the president was killed.
Well, too bad. That's all you're known as. That's what I think of when I think Dallas.
I think Cowboys. They did a good job. But yeah, they became known as America's team. It was kind of like, a big patriotic thing. So that's where the name came from. That's just a little tidbit. And of course, that was in the, 60s, 70s? When he was killed? I want to say late 60s.
Yeah, like late 60s. Yeah, because it's after the space thing, right? He's the one that got us to the moon.
Yes, I believe so. But we're not here to talk about that.
Oh.
We're actually going to go a little bit further, actually.
Oh.
We're going to go back to the late 1800s.
Oh, sure.
And we're going to talk about the origins of American football. Because American football is very different from soccer, which is also called football.
Football. Spelled with a U, right?
Spelled with a foot. Football. It's pronounced with the, phonetically it's pronounced, or spelled football, F-U-T, ball. I don't remember how they spell ball. But yeah, soccer and football are two very, very different things, at least American football. Football evolved from rugby and soccer, actually. It has roots in both. Became popular in Ivy League schools in the 1860s through 1880s, rather. Yeah, from the 1860s all the way to the 1800s.
Wow.
Okay. 1880s.
Okay.
1880s.
So once again, America had to do its own thing, take established word and be like, no. Now, you want to call it football, boy? We're going to not do anything with our feet, okay? Because that's the American way.
football, but you can't kick it. How about that?
Right, feet are frowned
And later,
upon.
the first American football game was played between Rutgers and Princeton University in 1869. And it actually looked more like soccer, so I guess they did kick it more. I guess all of our jokes just fell flat if people actually know
Damn it.
the history. They're just like, oh, these idiots.
Well, I want the internet to know I'm an ignorant boob who doesn't like football, so that's my excuse.
My excuse is I'm just dumb. Walter Camp was a character a fella at the Yale University. He standardized the rules in the 1880s and created the line of scrimmage, which is where, I'm going to explain it to you because I don't know if you know what the line of scrimmage is, boo-boo.
Yes, okay, now that one I do know. That's the arbitrary line
That's
they
where the
can't
ball-
cross, right?
That's where the ball is marked, yeah,
Or-
the line of scrimmage.
I say they can't cross it, but yeah, that's what I meant.
They shouldn't because it's offsides if you cross it, and it's false start if you're on the offense and you cross it. So, well, on the offense, it's if you even move, but that's not the point. But he created downs, he created the point system, and eventually even created the forward pass in 1906 because they weren't allowed to pass until 1906.
What? What'd you do? Just run it?
Well, you could run it. It was kind of like rugby. You could run it, but you could also do a backwards pass. You could kind of chuck it behind you.
It's called a lateral,
Sideways,
right?
Lateral passing, but you could not throw it forward.
Okay.
For the first, looks like, I don't know, if you start at the very, very beginning of the 60s, almost 40 years, I guess.
40 years of just running. Someone's like, hey, man,
Yeah.
we could save a whole lot of running if we would just, I don't know, throw it forward.
I can throw this ball faster than you can run.
Yeah, well, I can run faster than you can throw that ball.
You got your peanut butter in my chocolate.
You got your chocolate in my peanut butter, son.
It's an old commercial right there.
Right, what is that, a Reese's commercial?
It's Reese's peanut butter commercial.
I was thinking the Family Guy bit.
Oh, yeah, they did do that one, too,
The
didn't they?
sheriff that,
Oh,
shot the
killed
two guys.
Forgot about that.
He got his chocolate in my peanut butter.
He got his peanut butter in my chocolate. Pow! So dumb. So the sport was extremely violent back then. Serious injuries and even death were actually not so much a risk, but more commonplace.
Damn.
In fact, by 1905, 19 players died in one season.
Jesus.
Yeah, and newspapers, of course, called for the sport to be banned. And of all people, actually, let me see. I've got a full breakdown of that. Went into a little bit more detail. Why it was so dangerous. So, it was wildly popular, extremely dangerous. The game still resembled rugby. There were no helmets, no leather pads. If you were lucky, you would be wearing mass formations like the flying wedge, where players would lock arm and charge full speed into defenders, was commonplace. The forward pass hadn't been invented yet because that was 1906. So plays were just brutal collisions over and over and over.
God.
And they actually marketed football as being a way to build toughness and manliness at schools like Harvard and Yale and Princeton. So, if we were to film these games today, like if nothing changed and it was still a popular game, we'd just be filming like an endless parade of ambulances leaving the stadium.
That's the real sport. Who can get to the hospital first to get medical treatment?
Like in 19 students died, or 19 players died in 1905 alone, and over 137 suffered serious injuries.
Oh my God.
Yeah, of course, public outrage began to grow, and newspapers, including big ones like the Chicago Tribune, ran headlines calling for football to be outright banned completely. And that caused Theodore Roosevelt to step in. Known for his strenuous life philosophy, I believe it was called. He literally boxed in the White House until he was partially blinded in one eye at one point.
Oh my God.
He loved football, but he understood the danger of it. And so in 1905, in October, he summoned representatives from Harvard, Yale, Princeton to the White House and demanded they fix this. And his quote was basically, "I believe in rough play, but I do not believe in the brutal or the foul plays." So it can be rough, but let's make it a little less deadly.
It's like we're still
And he
men
warned
here,
them.
but it's not blood sports, okay?
Yeah, basically. And so because he warned them and said, "Hey, if changes aren't made, yeah, then because of what everyone's saying, we're just going to get rid of it, or we're going to get involved ourselves. So do something about it, or we will." Basically,
It's illegal.
this caused those three schools, Harvard, Yale, Princeton. They've created the Intercollegiate Athletic Association of the United States, or the IAAUS, in 1906, which later became the NCAA in 1910.
Oh, I've heard those
The
latest.
National College. Oh yeah, we've heard that. The big changes they made were legalizing the forward pass in 1906 to spread the field. That was to reduce collision. So basically, by involving the pass, the players had no option but to prepare for the pass and to spread out. Right.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
They banned the flying wedge, like you cannot lock arms and just plow over people, which seems so brutal.
That's our defense, man. Hold hands and run towards the other guys.
And they also introduced a neutral zone, so instead of just everyone meeting exactly where the ball was, they made a spot or a section where no one should be, right?
Right.
So there was a little space. They also required first downs to be 10 yards in 4 plays instead of 5 and 3, so more open play. So, yeah, what we know now was originally if you got a first down, you have 5 yards, and you have 3 plays to get another first down, that kind of thing. Now it's 10 yards in 4 plays. So,
do you know were the football fields the same size as like the ones we play on now?
Good question. Let's find out. Football field sizes in let's say 1905, right?
Yeah.
Let's say 1905.
Because football fields now are what, like 150 yards?
100. Well, if you just the footage of the field itself is 100 yards.
100 yards.
But then, yeah, measures 100 yards between. So yeah, between the goal lines is 100 yards, and then of course there's the goal line.
Okay.
I'm trying to find anything on the history. I'm having a hard time finding anything. It may not have been a standardized thing, honestly.
Shit. We're asking the real questions here.
Yeah. Let's find out. One more try here. Field in 1906. It was... Alright, in 1906, right after the big reforms that came out of the 1905 crisis, the standard football field was 110 yards long and 53 and 1/3 feet, or 1/3 yards wide.
Yeah.
So that's from ChatGPT. So I'm just saying that may not be completely accurate. That's that's the thing with, but it does seem like that might be accurate. Because in 1912, according to this, it was changed to 100 yards.
That is correct.
That is correct, sir. Pre-1906. See what it was before those. Let's see if they made any changes. No, it was 110. Okay, it was modeled after rugby pitches.
Ah, that makes sense.
So, yeah, it went by that. Okay, so there we go. That was a good question.
Thank you.
But yeah, that was a handsome question, sir.
Thank you.
The other thing they added, this is the last thing, they also added officials, more referees to control plays, and they started to slowly use helmets.
Oh, God. They were doing this shit
but
raw dog before?
Oh, yeah. And it wasn't mandatory to wear a helmet, though, until 1939.
Oh, my God. So you got fucking dudes out here with helmets crashing into no helmet dudes.
Yeah.
But wait, were they wearing like those leather style helmets back then?
Yeah, that was the thing until I think we'll get there. We'll get there.
All right, yeah, we're getting there.
But I think you're right. I think it was like up until it became mandatory. I think they wore the leather style helmets, and even into the 30s and 40s, I think it was this style helmet. But yeah, so that's
tough tanned leather.
Basically, without Theodore Roosevelt interfering like he did, football as we know it would have been banned. for good,
Fucking
possibly.
dead.
Yeah. So, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Teddy. Appreciate that.
I mean, if the president of the United States has to tell you to chill out before you kill more kids in your games, maybe you need a rule book. So I guess it was a good idea.
Right. Take me back to when we were concerned about that. Not like keep the woke out of football.
So, because woke.
Used to be you could just run as fast as you wanted to, head first into a man, give him fucking break his ribs and shit.
Brain
Now
damage.
you can't because of that woke ass Teddy Roosevelt.
I always think of that mouse meme you sent me.
Right, I love that one.
I love it. Anyway, so we're going to skip to, because there wasn't much going on as a way of reform until 1920. This is when the birth of the NFL began happening. It's kind of a slow birth. They kind of squeaked out of there. Originally, it was called the American Professional Football Association, or the APFA, and it was formed in Canton, Ohio in 1920, which I think is where the Hall of Fame is now, in Canton, Ohio.
Okay.
So
Excellent.
that's where it was founded. Jim Thorpe, who is a name that a lot of football fans may recognize. I don't think you would recognize it. Maybe you do.
Who?
Jim Thorpe.
Nope.
Jimmy.
Never heard of her.
He was he was a legendary athlete, and he was elected the first president of the APFA.
Ooh.
As far as teams, they had some small town clubs like the Canton Bulldogs, the Decatur Staleys, and the Akron Pros. Horrible names.
That's what? That's Ohio, right? I think Akron.
Yeah, I think all that's Ohio. But the Decatur Staleys, am I saying Decatur right?
Sounds right to me.
It's a city. Anyway, the Decatur Staleys later became the Chicago Bears. The Bears.
The Bears.
And 2 years later, they decided that name for the American Professional Football Association sucked, so they changed it to the National Football League, the NFL, in 1922.
Like, boo, American National.
And 3 years later, they had their first star,
Who was?
Red Grange. I'm going to look up some stuff about him because I had him written down for a little thing here. His full name was Harold Edward Red Grange.
No wonder
He was nicknamed the Galloping Ghost and the Wheaton Iceman. So he had some pretty cool nicknames, I guess.
Yeah.
Will Wheaton.
Wheaton.
He was an American football halfback. Played for the Chicago Bears, and the short-lived, believe it or not, there was, as if we had didn't have enough of this already. There was a football team called the New York Yankees.
No way.
Yeah, they only existed from 26 to 29. So they weren't around very long.
Good.
But they did play at Yankee Stadium.
Oh, shit.
Boo.
Okay.
Boo. So, let's see. Impact on... Check out his impact here. I'm just because I did not have time. Like I said, with all the moving and everything I've been doing, right. I didn't do all of the research I should have. But
in case y'all can't hear it, Dustin is in a new studio. In his new
it might
home.
sound a little different until I fix it.
Oh, you're sounding pretty good.
Yeah. If you didn't join us on the live stream, you wouldn't be aware. But yes, I got this new little studio room set up. Still working on it. Work in progress. So, let's see. Yeah, so basically he became a big star, and he's what started to draw attention to other players wanting to play the game because he just got super popular. He actually also started partaking in acting.
Oh.
Became an actor a little bit.
Me.
Let's see what he was in 3 movies. He was in... Are you still there? Did I lose you?
Yeah, I'm still here. Sorry.
Oh, okay. You went mute.
Mute.
So he was in the 1926 movie, right? Silent film drama called 1 Minute to Play.
Oh.
In 1927, he was in A Racing Romeo,
Oh.
which was a comedy film. Doesn't look like it was a silent movie. And he was also in a movie called The Galloping Ghost.
I wonder what that was about.
Right, yeah. And he appeared in that movie as Red G. And in the first two movies, he was Red Wade, was the character name.
So he just used his fucking name.
Well, here's the thing. I'm looking at the theatrical poster for A Minute to Play, which was his big first movie.
Mm-hmm.
Not only is he on the front of it, because it's art, it's drawing, it's him in a football field, or in a football game. It's weird looking, but it says the tagline at the top says "The Nation's Idol," Red Grange, and his name is bigger than the title of the film's font.
They knew what they were doing.
Yeah, it's here. I'm going to send you the link for it so you can see it. And I'll probably post this on Facebook if I get around to it. Like I said, busy week. It's starting to settle in. But I'll be able to do more of this stuff more often.
Right. Be sure to tune in and watch old Dustin here fucking stream, man. He's starting to get into the video game streaming.
Yeah, we're starting getting video game streaming and stuff. And, of course, we're live streaming every Tuesdays.
Right. You might also catch me streaming sometime. I might hijack the history page and fucking live stream.
We may live stream together a couple of times too.
Yeah,
so
that'd be entertaining.
Definitely stick around. He was the first real star, and he made pro football kind of respectable to be a sport. They still weren't making like living wages though. They were still finding side jobs. Green Bay Packers were founded in 1919. They joined the NFL in 1921 and became iconic under their coach Curly Lambeau. Lambeau. So Lambeau Field, you might have heard of Lambeau.
I heard Curly, and I immediately think of Three Stooges.
I know you went for Curly, but but Lambeau Field is an iconic field, a mecca for Packers fans. I think they still play there. I hope so. Don't come at me. I'm a Cowboys fan. 1930s, we had the first playoff game in 1933, and the forward pass was really revolutionizing the offenses. They began to really expand with it and not just throwing it, like actually creating plays that revolved around passing. I think the play writing changed in the 30s.
Real
36,
strategy.
36, we had the first NFL draft.
Oh.
So, which is a big deal now. A lot of people, I know people that'll not call out, but they'll ask off for work just to watch the draft. That's a bit much.
Yeah, that's taking it some type of way.
I mean, hey, you like what you like.
That's right. Yeah, people are fans of different things, and that's cool.
Yeah, I take off for WrestleMania every year. I can't say anything. So, World War II hit, of course, and some teams had to merge because of player shortages. And we get some combined names like the Steelers and Eagles combined players and became the Steagles.
What? The Steagles.
And this was also around the last time that the Cleveland Browns ever dominated anything. Because they were actually playing in the AAFC, which is the All-American Football Conference, which was unaffiliated with the NFL, but they got so good because they dominated that league that they joined the NFL in 1950. And
then they saw what real football players look like. They're like, oh.
And they've never been the same.
We are severely outmatched here, fellas. But we made it.
Never been the same.
Even if we're at the bottom, that's still better than being at the top of that other nobody, know nothing fucking team league.
And in 1958, we had the NFL championship game, which is played on December 28th. NFL championship, which was basically kind of the Super Bowl of the time. And it was played between the Baltimore Colts and the New York Giants. And the reason I mention it is because it was widely regarded, it still is to this day, widely regarded as the greatest game ever played. So the reason for that is because it was the first game ever decided in sudden death overtime.
Oh.
It was on national television, and the Colts won 23-17, and just because it was so dramatic, it came down to that last, overtime. gave a super boost to the popularity of the NFL. That's really kind of like it's WrestleMania 1, I guess. Kind of what it seems like.
Yeah.
Moving along here. 1960s, the AFL, the American Football League, was founded in 1960 as a rival league. They had different rules, and they were flashier. They used wider use of passing, and they also had more colorful marketing. The NFL was kind of old school because it's been around for a while. And 10 years later, they merged. The NFL and the AFL merged together, and they created the first Super Bowl in 1967. Like they merged in the 70s. I shouldn't have written it like that. They merged in the 70s, but they played in Super Bowls prior to that starting in 1967. And kind of like, okay, well, you've got this league, we got this league, let's get out there and see who's the best.
That's pretty cool. I like that. A nice meeting up of different leagues with their own.
Yeah, I wish we'd see that nowadays.
Yeah, right.
I know every sport now has a dynasty league that dominates, but I'd like to see smaller. I wish they weren't so big, I guess, and just have everybody, the big ones, the bigger of the little guys, all fight for supremacy at the end of the year.
Yeah, because
it'd be pretty cool.
I feel like you miss out on some real talent only having it. You have a few people that are fucking good. Like you said, they dominate. So that just overshadows any kind of up and coming talent that could potentially, be entertaining to people too.
Otherwise, everybody's just the Chiefs. So, or if you go back a few years, everybody's just the Patriots.
Right.
So, let's see. So, in Super Bowl III, just kind of a side note, Joe Namath guaranteed a Jets win over the Colts, and basically that was kind of not quite the same equivalent, but kind of like when Babe Ruth called his shot.
Yeah.
They promised, we're going to win, and the reason this was such a big deal is because they were the AFL team that had only been around for 10 years. Or at that point, 10 years. And so they, to my understanding, didn't really have a chance. The Jets, or the Colts were much better on paper.
Right.
But Joe Namath helped them overcome the Colts. They won. It was a huge upset, and it legitimized the AFL team, or the teams. So it kind of made them seem like a big deal, and that's when the merge started happening. So pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
In the 70s, we had one of our first dynasties. I believe it was the first dynasty, which was the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And for the ignorant people listening, can you explain what a dynasty is? What's...
A dynasty is kind of when, just to simplify it, to me, a dynasty is a team that doesn't just win a Super Bowl one year and then goes on to, be whatever. Maybe they're good next year or whatever, but dynasty is a team that dominates.
Okay.
Every year when the season starts, it's that's the team you got to watch out for, is in this case the Pittsburgh Steelers. Got you.
Okay.
But I want to make sure that this is the right era before I just say this. Should have written it down as well, but it's okay. That's what we're here for.
It's all right. We're learning. We're amateurs. We disclosed that. Okay. Yeah. Yep, I was right. Okay, I could have just said it. Wanted to make sure I get to accuracy here, though. So, in the 1970s, like I said, the Pittsburgh Steelers were the team, but the reason for that dynasty was their defensive line, actually. Not the offensive, like most people, you always think it's the quarterback, right? Right.
But in this case, the defensive line for the Steelers was their star players, and that collection of players was known as the Steel Curtain.
Ah.
Which is a badass nickname for a unit. They won 4 Super Bowls in 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And let's see further. Yeah. So let's just for shits and giggles, you want to hear the names because all of them have nicknames. The nicknames of this Steel Curtain lineup.
You know it.
All right. So we're gonna go with the first one, which is Mad Dog.
Number 78, Mad Dog Dwight White.
Dwight White.
What a name. Dwight White, what a name. Number 63 was Fats Ernie Holmes.
Oh.
His nickname was Fats. And number 68 was Hollywood Bags. What a stupid nickname. L.C. Greenwood.
L.C. Greenwood.
And finally, we've mentioned him in a podcast before that had nothing to do with football whatsoever. But number 75, Mean Joe Green.
Oh, okay, I've heard of him. Hey, Mean Joe. Hey, kid.
Yeah, hey kid.
Catch. Thanks, Mean Joe.
Mean Joe Green. The sad thing about this, though, I just looked at it. The only one still alive today is Mean Joe Green. Mean Gene.
Joe.
Hey, Mean Gene.
Mean
Let me
Gene.
tell you something, brother. All four men were African American and played at little known Southern colleges, and were pretty much overlooked by most other teams. So, like they were underdogs, and here they became like the most dominating defensive line in NFL history, probably. So, yeah,
Okay.
pretty cool. Little factoids there.
Right. We coming with all this stuff.
And the 49ers actually became probably the next big dynasty in the 80s with their West Coast offense. Now, I know what you're thinking. What's a West Coast offense? Because
Yeah.
I know I am.
Right, I'm thinking that.
So the West Coast offense is basically, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm at a loss.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to find the best way to describe it. I just looked it up because I should have researched this one too, but I never really thought about it until just now. It's basically short passes first, like that's your priority. Long passes are only when the defenses are nibbling at you. Like you're getting them with those short passes, and while they're like hooked on that short pass, then you go for that long pass.
Brilliant.
A key requirement, I guess, for this style of offense is that your timing and rhythm between your quarterback and receivers have to be locked in. Like it's all depending on those guys. Also, the running backs and the tight ends started to become big passing targets, which wasn't a common thing at the time. Usually, your running backs were only running, and your tight ends were more of a blocking player. They didn't really go for the passes. They weren't, especially not the big passes. And another key thing was the ball control to keep the defenses on the field, wear them out, keep moving, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And Joe Montana became a legend because of this style of play and turned the 49ers into a dynasty. They won 5 Super Bowls in the 80s and 90s because of this crazy play, or crazy system. Which was really more, I'm trying to think of the word, more high pace than what other teams were playing at the time. Also in 1970, while we're still back there, Monday Night Football debuted for the first time and turned games into primetime TV events for the family to gather around the TV and watch football on a Monday night.
Okay. All right. There's
Oh,
Sorry, I'm just kind of at a loss here because I don't really know what to contribute.
oh, don't worry about it. We're going to keep moving, buddy.
All right, good.
So in 1982, we had our first player strike, which cut the season short. 87, there was another strike that led to replacement players, and it was just kind of a wild era for the labor history. Like I said early on, probably from the beginning of the game until about this time, players weren't really making much money. You know.
Right, so they're just putting their bodies out there working, getting hurt. For
Yeah,
little
yeah.
things just to go back to work their fucking day job.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna give it an example here. Let me see if I have this note somewhere. I had the average players' salaries through the years.
Yeah, I'd be interested
kinda
to
see
see
where it
where it
happened.
spikes up for sure.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find it. I know I wrote it down. Okay.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, but some players now make more than most of the team combined, don't they? Like if they're a star
Some
player.
of them make more than small countries, yeah.
Oh my god.
So, in the 70s, is as far back as I could really find anything, the average salary was between 30,000 and 60,000.
Gotcha. Oh, okay. That's yeah, I don't know if that's enough to really like destroy your body the way that shit would.
Yeah, I mean, that, and they were paying for their own travel expenses and things like that. So, and 30,000 is like adjusted for inflation, if I'm not mistaken. So that's equivalent. That's the equivalent of like today making 30. That's the same as like if I worked at a restaurant and got a good amount of money, which I've made that much at some restaurants, and
Right.
But I'm putting my life on the line every time I'm going into the kitchen, getting beat up and tackled for 3 hours every day.
Right, you go to cook a nice salmon, you just hear the whistle blowing, and then like four dudes dog pile you.
And not to mention like all the training involved in the off season. You have to eat healthy and all that, and that stuff gets expensive when you're an athlete. And of course, it's not like it is today. We didn't have like the sports scientists and stuff like that, but still, what we knew at the time, they would try to keep up with what they could. But in '83, after all these labor strikes, the average salary became, or it was closer to 111,000 a year.
All right, that's a little better.
Yeah. Now in the late '80s, the range really started to grow. Through the late '80s and early '90s, it was a range of between 300,000 to 800,000. So there you go.
Very nice.
And these are all for like average players. There's just the average Joe Schmo who made the team and is not a star. He's not a big factor. However, in 2015, by 2015, we were looking at around 2.1 million as an average salary.
Oh my god.
2019 to 2020, we're looking at about 3 to 4 million, depending on the team. Some teams, and this is an average, so some teams were much lower, some were much, much higher. But that was kind of the average.
God damn.
For example, and this is amongst all teams, by the way, because like the Falcons in that same season had an average salary of 4.71 million.
Ugh.
Yeah. Now, 2023 through 2025, top players, especially quarterbacks, who are the main stars now, we're looking at an average of 50 to 60 million and up.
Per year.
Per year, yeah.
That
average
is crazy. I mean, like I know a lot of it probably comes from merchandise, and there's all kinds of shit that probably generates revenue. But like, my God, dude. I mean, we're it's just fucking ludicrous to me how much these people get paid, and then they turn around and fucking whine and be like, "Oh, it's not enough money. You're making more in a year than all the people I know in my life will ever make in their combined life." Yeah. All our salaries combined, we'll never touch that,
And this is what me and Paul were fussing about, because I am a Cowboys fan, but I'm also very frustrated with how the Cowboys are working right now. The highest paid NFL player by average annual salary today is Dak Prescott of the Cowboys, quarterback for the Cowboys.
Okay.
He signed a 4-year, $240 million contract extension in September 2024, which includes $231 million guaranteed and an $80 million signing bonus. The average of this deal is $60 million a year.
Jesus. 70 million a year?
60 million a year.
Sorry, my bad. 60 million a year?
You're good. 60 million a year.
In terms of overall contract, though, like that's not the highest overall contract. That's just for 4 years he got signed. For 4 years he's making 24 million, 240 million, basically, with bonuses and everything else. Before bonus, whatever. But in terms of overall total contract, like spread over 10 years, right? This contract.
Mm-hmm.
They signed Patrick Mahomes to the Kansas City Chiefs. He signed for 10 years for a whopping $450 million. Yeah.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, that's
almost half.
And those two guys are both quarterbacks. The highest paid non-quarterback is Micah Parsons of the Green Bay Packers, who the Dallas Cowboys stupidly let go. He's a great player, but he makes $46 million a year.
Wow, that's a disparaging fucking gap there.
Yeah. It's crazy. So we're gonna go back on here to the back to the timeline. That is a cool little rabbit hole. That's crazy.
Yeah, the wages.
But that's what these
crazy, dude. That's nuts.
Oh, you know what? Let me see. NFL make yearly. How much does the NFL itself make? So the NFL itself generates approximately $23 billion in annual revenue.
Oh, that's crazy.
And of course, the teams get a share of it, but
sure, yeah.
The teams also make their own money. That's insane.
Right, that's so much money. That's so much.
Yeah.
Why is this not being brought up when we talk about like spending and shit like that? Like where's the fucking protest to tell the football to stop? Just stop it and stop paying people so fucking much.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess it's just basic supply and demand. Like a lot of people like football, and maybe it's a little easier for me to, or maybe I'm ignorant, and that's why I'm like, man, I just don't understand, because I made those points earlier about how, 30 to 60,000 isn't quite enough to justify going out there and destroying your bodies. But I think another thing to keep in mind is the modern football, from what I understand from people, especially people who've been watching for a long time, is that like people will use the term like sissified, pussified, whatever you'd like to call it. I call it they're looking out for the safety of the players. But that being the case, since there's so many precautions now, and we're more open to the thought of like CTE and shit like that, the brain injuries that come from, go figure, you rattle your brain enough, you get like adult shaken baby syndrome. Fucking, I know that's brutal. Hot take, but it's true. I mean, it's true. And there's no sense in like fucking sugarcoating it. Like this shit that affects people. There's probably a lot of people out there with CTE that we don't even know. Like that fucking dude you think is crazy probably just got hit in the head one too many times when he was younger or something. So all that's to say, like, we're going through all these safety precautions. We're even going to like those cool foam helmet thingies. Like, what style of helmet I'm talking about?
Yeah, the increased protection.
Yeah, so we're taking all these safety measures, and all the while we are upping the salary of these fucking football players who are objectively playing a more safe game. They sprain their ankle, they're out for a season.
It's not quite that severe.
No, okay, I'm being a little hyperbolic. You're right. But I'm just saying, like, the injuries, I think comparatively, like a dude from the 70s getting injured, he's not getting out of the game unless he seriously fucks himself up and can't play,
Right,
whereas now, like, you remove people because they're worth too much. Like, that's understandable. You got a 10-year contract. I paid fucking $450 million over the course of 10 years. It's like asset protection.
It's really, I was going to say, it's really about more in protecting your investments.
Right. Which I understand, but like your investment is just so much. And that's my big contingency there.
The thing is, to me, they didn't care about that until they started paying these guys so much. They didn't care about the players until they were paying them so much money. Now it matters.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a great point. You didn't start taking this shit serious until you start losing money because this motherfucker forgot how to read because he done got hit in the head too hard.
Yeah.
Or he goes out there and beats his girlfriend or some fucked up shit. Which is not all of them. I know that's a very marginalized. That's not.
Yeah. It's a stereotype. Well, not really a stereotype. It happens. It does happen. But that's the dangers of CTE and brain damage that we are still not completely understanding.
Right.
I do have a book that I haven't quite read yet that kind of covers this kind of thing called Concussion, which was also turned into a movie. Just called Concussion. It's I think it's Will Smith before the slap.
Before the fucking shitty raps.
Yeah. Oh man.
Even though I'm an action star, sometimes I'm act bizarre.
Speaking of being stuck in the 90s, we're going to go back to the Dallas Cowboys again. So they were nicknamed, as we discussed earlier, America's team. Go back to the beginning of this episode if you want to find out why. But they won 5 Super Bowls, one in 71, one in 77, and then they won one in 1992, 93, and 95. So they were the dynasty of the 90s, really. Back and forth with the 49ers. The 49ers won a lot in that era, too.
Right on.
But, yeah. And then, of course, through the 2000s and 2020s, we had Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Patrick Mahomes, and others that really turned the perception of a quarterback into something different. They just were on a different level. Tom Brady, I hate him, but God, he can play.
I wonder how much he made when he was playing.
That's an interesting thing because if I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, listeners, but I think he didn't play for as much because he wanted the money to go to, because there's a salary cap. There's only so much you can spend on a team per year, right?
Okay.
And I believe he was one of them. Yeah, and I believe for him, he took a lower salary because he wanted to be surrounded by better players. So, hey, spend money on the other players to get me a team, get a team around me.
Good man.
Which is
good man.
Brilliant, and yeah, I mean he was still paid a lot of money.
Right.
Let's see.
Shit like that, like people talk shit on him, but I mean, like he was on top of the fucking game. I think
he arguably is the best quarterback of all time, and that hurt me so much to say.
Well, the truth often does hurt.
Let's see. I'm trying to find. I can't find one that just flat out says it.
Of course not.
Let's see. Try this.
Never forget, Tom Brady kissed his son on the mouth while he was getting a massage.
He did. That's a fact.
That video is weird.
All right, so he was drafted in 2000, or he was signed in 2000. 3 years for $864,000.
Oh.
Let's see. We're gonna go to when was he the biggest?
Fucking, it's sad when hundreds of thousands sounds modest.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. He was roughly making about during their big run, I guess. He wasn't really making. Up until his final seasons, he wasn't making more than $10 million a year.
Oh, that's baby numbers.
I mean, there was bonuses and stuff that factor in that I'm not gonna. But we're talking about base salary.
Yeah, we're talking. What did this dude get signed on for? What was he making per year?
Yeah, his base salary through their dynasty run, their big years, he was only making like $10 million, which in comparison to these other guys is insane.
Right. What is it? You said Dak Prescott. That's the quarterback.
Yeah,
for
Dak
the
Prescott.
Cowboys.
What? Yeah, it is.
And he's getting paid that much to lose every time.
Basically, to lose every season.
Right. Tom Brady fucking turned a team into gold. Dak Prescott
to win
gets
season
paid.
after season, to win season after season for 6 years. His extension for 6 years was worth $60 million. So for 6 years, he got paid what Dak got paid in 1 year, except he won title after title after title during that time frame.
Yeah, one might say he earned that money.
Yeah,
because
here's the thing. The complications of trying to read this contract, I see why a lot of people don't have it written or have it written out, is because he was frequently restructuring his contract. The reason for that was to provide the Patriots with salary. By restructuring, he allowed them more salary cap flexibility.
So he would restructure it to favor the team to get more money for the other players. Crazy.
And I think that just kind of, and I'm not just picking on the Cowboys or Dak Prescott here, because I have no bias.
Do it.
All right, you want it? I got it. No.
I want it.
No, but I think that just shows, and I don't know anything about the Dak Prescott dude. I don't know if he's cocky. I don't know, I don't know any of his traits.
Paul will always point out to the fact that the man had a wallpaper of himself on his cell phone.
That's pretty telling, but I think there's a lot of people that have that. I've never done it either. Unless it was a picture of me with someone I cared about, and then that's the only reason. But
this is just him. This was just him.
God, that's kind of vain. Okay, well, I think that's good then, because that's the stark comparison between someone who's in the industry for themselves, for whatever kind of status they can get out of it, or obviously the fucking boatloads of money you're going to be getting, compared to someone like a Tom Brady who, hearing how he constantly renegotiated and $10 million, that's still a lot of fucking money. I'm not trying to downplay that part.
It is.
But I think,
but he was a star. I mean,
he played hard. It sounds like he cared more about having a good team that could support him. And I find that to be a good trait, in any setting, really, where teamwork is involved.
I think the one thing anyone can say about Tom Brady, love him or hate him, he loved to win and would sacrifice to win. And that's something you want in a teammate.
Right. Not someone who just wants themselves to look good. Because, it's easy for me to throw the ball and then you don't catch it. It's like, well, I did my job right. Instead of I feel like a Tom Brady would be like, damn, we messed that up. We could have done better. Not like, you fucked up. You made me look bad. Which I'm not saying Dak does, but I mean, from the little bit I've learned about him in this conversation, it sounds like he could possibly be that type of person who's like, well, I did my shit. I don't really care if, sink or swim. I'm still getting paid. Handsomely, I might add.
All right, so let me check something real quick. All right. Okay. All right, so we're going to go through our top 5 facts about NFL history because this is pretty much it for the episode so far.
All right. Hey, this has been a pretty long episode. This is a good one.
Yeah, we milked this thing.
Fucking right, baby.
So, number 1, the Pottsville Maroons.
Sorry.
I've got to give you time to breathe. No, from now on, I'm going to do that so you've got time to breathe. All right, so number 1. The Pottsville Maroons were stripped of the 1925 NFL title for playing an unauthorized game against Notre Dame in another team's territory.
What?
Yeah. Number 2. The longest NFL game lasted 82 minutes. It was the Dolphins versus the Chiefs in 1971. That's on-field time, not, that's how much time was actually played, not how many times I'm involving commercials.
Right.
Number 3. The Heisman Trophy, which is the highest trophy in collegiate football, is it's basically for the MVP of the entire season in the college realm. The winner of that title is not guaranteed NFL success. Just because you're the greatest college player does not mean you'll make it in the NFL. I don't know if most, but many of them have flopped spectacularly, like devastatingly bad.
Really?
Yeah. It just doesn't translate. They're two different games, really.
Okay. All right. Good to know.
Number 4. In the 1987 strike, one replacement team, Washington, made playoffs and even won a Super Bowl.
Who did?
Washington.
Oh.
The football team.
Oh.
Yeah, they were a replacement team during the 87 strike.
Oh, shit.
So, and number 5. The NFL once tried to found a team in Canada.
How'd that go?
They were the Toronto Northmen,
and they never played because Canadians protested.
Oh my God.
So yeah, that's our top 5 facts. I did not know about that last one. I've heard some of the other ones. I knew of some of the other ones.
The maple syrup Mountaineers.
What year was the maple syrup? What year was NFL? Let's see what year the Toronto. Oh, 1974.
Okay.
And they just, they just didn't hang around because of Canadians being like, "Hey, buddy."
Hey, I'm not your buddy, guy. I'm not your guy, friend.
So
I'm not your
that's
friend.
all we
buddy.
have. That's all we have for this. While you do the South Park bit, that's all of our time for today. That's all we've got on the NFL history, anyway. Join us next week as we talk about history of anal beads.
Yeah, and that's, actually you would think, oh, how exciting could that be? It's just anal beads. Well, I'm gonna tell you folks, you're in for a treat. Okay?
It was medicinal. I was surprised.
Right, it was actually to stop leakage at first.
That's not really what we're talking about next week. But we'll talk about something fun. Or is it? Anyway, have a good day, everybody.
Goodbye. Love you.